some habits you should have and think about when you are working through ALEKS. So ALEKS is actually divided into topics, and if you took all of Algebra 1 and divided it into 494 topics, then that's what a topic is. If you took Algebra 1 as a regular class, then maybe each class you might have learned, I don't know, somewhere between 6 and 8 topics or 10 topics or something like that. That's how small a topic is. And if we are spending an entire day on ALEKS, then we'll be assigning about 10 topics to do both as classwork and homework. Like the whole day is just do 10 topics, and that'll be all of your classwork and homework. Each topic brings or belongs to a pie slice, just like a chapter in a book. So you'll see some of the slices in a bit. And to learn a topic, you've got to first read the explanation. It always tells you how to do it first. And then if you get 2 or 3 of the questions right in a row, it'll assume you've already learned it and then move on. You could also get just a couple incorrect, and in that case, you'd have to do like 5 questions total. They always give you, anytime you get a question incorrect, then they always give you an explanation of how to do it correctly. If you're going to master a topic, which is different from learning, but to master a topic, you need to get the questions correct while taking a knowledge check. And there's a difference, so make sure you keep the difference between learning and mastering in mind. We're going to be working on the topics in pie slice order, so you'll see the first pie slice in a second. When you're learning from ALEKS, it's every topic is just incrementally a bit more. There's only a tiny bit of learning that you have to do. If you have already mastered the previous topic, the new topic should only involve the learning from one small little thing. Like if you've already learned how to solve 3x plus 1 equals 10, then the next topic might be solve negative 3x plus 1 equals 10. You notice the negative there for negative 3. That's like a whole new topic, how to solve it with negatives. And before you begin each topic, make sure you read the explanation slowly and even out loud if necessary. I know it sounds kind of strange and weird, but if you read it out loud, you're just more likely to slow yourself down and really take in each word. Math reading just goes a lot slower than, say, English reading or history reading. You've got to take in each word slowly. There's links. Let me see if I can show this to you. So you can see here is what a question might look like, and if a student got it wrong, for example, then it goes into learning mode, and you can see there's an explanation, and you'll be able to scroll down. So, oh no, this is an example. So they're modeling it for you before you get started. Here are like the 5 questions you might have to do, and you see they haven't started their first question yet. Here is the name of the topic, constructing a bar graph from non-numerical data. That's the name of the student. You can see there's no calculator here. They say you should do it without a calculator. If this is not crossed out, then you can use the ALEKS calculator, or I actually recommend using the TI Inspire just to get practice with that. So you read the question, and then you'll be able to read the explanation. And once you've read the explanation, you can start. Now, sometimes you'll have these links here. This will be like keywords that'll go to a glossary or a dictionary, and that'll be good to click anytime you see one of those links. Sometimes over here you'll see a button for a video, and that's also really helpful too if you ever want to watch the video. I really highly recommend taking advantage of these links, the videos, and the explanations. Read them slowly. Overall, it'll feel like you're going slow, but actually you'll be increasing your chances of getting it right, and things will go faster and more efficiently, and you'll learn better. Now, if you're ever stuck on a word problem, just read it out loud. That's one of the first things I'm going to ask you to do if I'm ever helping you with a word problem. I'll ask you to read it out loud as you read it slowly with me. So you might as well try it yourself first. Read it out loud. It'll slow you down. It'll make you forced to think about each and every single word. And if you get the answer wrong, like an explanation will pop up, and it's worth reading that as well. So that's learning from ALEKS. Every once in a while you get a knowledge check, and it's actually the first thing you did when you got into ALEKS and signed in on day 1 was a knowledge check. So this is the result of one student's knowledge check at the very beginning. No, this is not what they did at the very beginning. This is like halfway through the class. So you can see they had, in this particular pie slice, this is arithmetic readiness right here, and then this is real numbers, there's the next pie slice, and then this is, there's like 10 pie slices or so, maybe 12. You can see in this particular pie slice they've mastered 57, so the pie slice is almost there, and then they only have 8 left to go. That's like the gray part right here. They've mastered 57. They haven't learned any because they haven't started working on ALEKS yet in this particular one. Here, they've mastered 52. They haven't started learning any yet, and they've got 19 to go. So a knowledge check will count if you ever get a knowledge check, just like you got it on the very first day, it'll count in place of your daily ALEKS assignment. Let me know. You might want to email me and say, Mr. Bergman, I've got a knowledge check, and I'll say, okay, great. You don't have to do the normal assignment. You can just do the knowledge check instead. When I say normal assignment, it's like the 10 topics that you are assigned to work on. So we already talked about the learned versus mastered, and there's going to be a button on the knowledge check that says I don't know. It's okay to press it. If you don't know, if it's a topic that you've actually just learned and you press I don't know, then you might have to learn it again. Paperwork. Okay, so you have to turn in, you not only have to finish ALEKS, but you also have to turn in so you have to submit what you've been writing. And this is very important to me because we want to make sure that we know how to write math well. So just like you've been doing before, submit a photo on the shared Google slide. Make sure it goes first. I want all the new stuff to be at the very beginning on slide 1, and the oldest stuff should be towards the end. So sorting it from newest on slide 1 down to the oldest on like slide 20. You'll be able to begin the ALEKS assignment and the date. Begin the ALEKS assignment with the date that you are working on. So you can see in the example right here, you can see it's ALEKS, and they actually put the due date. It doesn't matter to me too much if you can put the due date or the date you're working on. Either is fine. I'll know which one you're talking about. And in this case, it's a knowledge check. But you can see they've copied down the question and work and answer. And I'll talk about that in a second. They make sure you begin the new topic with its title. That this student actually didn't do it, but please make sure you put the title of each topic towards the top so you can remember. And if it's a long title, you can abbreviate as well. But make sure it's separate from the previous topic so you can see when the topics start and end. All right, next, question, work, answer. This is very important. Great habits to be in and absolutely required in my class. You've got to write down for each question, and this is not just ALEKS, this is also applies in geometry as well when we move into that. You've got to make sure you copy the question, show work, and answer. Let's talk about just copying the question. First of all, why should you do this? If you copy down the question, I know it might seem unnecessary, but copy down the question. It'll turn your work into something you can study for future quizzes and assessments and that kind of thing. It also helps you to better read questions. So if you are reading something and you copy it down, then you're just more likely to read the question better. Now I know in ALEKS there's lots of words for these questions, so you can definitely abbreviate if you need to. The more you do this, the more it'll increase your assessment quiz scores. Now, I want you to copy everything that follows the question's number. In ALEKS, they may or may not be giving you a number, but you can just copy. You don't have to copy the instructions. Is what I'm trying to say. You can see in red, those are not required. This is out of the textbook. It's not out of ALEKS, but you can see the stuff above the number is instructions on how to do it. You don't have to copy those. Word problems, very important. Word problems might be incredibly long on ALEKS, or not incredibly, and for copying, it might be just an incredible amount of copying to do, and that's not helpful. What I'd rather you do is just copy the knowns and unknowns. And what I mean by knowns and unknowns, the knowns, you just list the problem's facts, like the things that you know. So in this particular problem, 59, surveying with a lake, the two things that are the two pieces of information are AC. The length AC is 47 yards and the length BC is 25 yards. So, and make sure you include units. The units help tell the story and help you understand more completely the word problem. If you understand the units, then you understand the story, and you're more likely to get the answer correct. Unknowns. So the knowns and unknowns. An unknown is the thing that answers the question, especially when you're solving equations. Just choose a letter from the alphabet, like to represent your unknown. It's the one thing that students forget to do the most, but it's the easiest thing to do. It's so easy to choose a letter from the alphabet. I don't know why more students don't do that. Let what you don't know be X or be Y or be A or be whatever letter you want from the alphabet. Just pick a letter. And you can't, if you're trying to solve an equation and you don't pick a letter or don't pick a variable, then it's impossible to even write the equation. So once you pick a letter to represent what you don't know, then you can write an equation. Next, showing work. Incredibly important to show work. It connects the question and the answer. So why show work? The more work you show, the more likely it is you're going to get it correct. And you'll be able to proofread your own ideas. It also helps you remember how you did the problem, which is actually really important. You want to remember how to do these problems. When you're showing work, speed is not valued. It doesn't matter to me how quickly you, or even to Alex, how quickly you follow I know you don't want to take forever on your assignment. You've got lots of pressures and things you've got to do, and sports, and just lots of things, and you don't want to spend a ton of time or overly excessive amount of time on your stuff. But what you've got to do is show work. Every problem must have work shown, and there's even a test for whether or not you've shown work. Let me show you. Here in this problem, I've covered up the question, I've covered up the answer, and anything else that you have is what we will call the work. So you've got to have the three things: question, work, answer. You might think, oh, Mr. Bergman, this particular problem that I'm working on is just too easy to show work. If you think it's too easy, then draw an arrow or circle a key word or something like that. And you can even ask me, like, Mr. Bergman, how do I show work? And I'd love to help you. Next, you've got to indicate an answer. You can circle or highlight or underline the answer however you want. And if you've got units, then you've got to make sure you've got to, if the word problem does have units, then you've got to include units as part of the answer. All right, that's it. Those are your ALEKS habits. Thanks very much, and I'll see you in class.